is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It is a Thursday inside the SWBC podcast studio, but more importantly,
it's the last Thursday.
No, more importantly, it's the first Thursday of 2025, and it's the first edition of Mick Shots for 2025. We have turned the page.
Mm-hmm. So let's start on a good note.
We are starting on a good note. Do you have something you would like to start with?
It's a beautiful day outside for football.
That's right. There are football players on the football field for almost the final time, right?
Yeah.
Final practice. They walk through.
They'll practice
the final
on Saturday.
Okay.
So the final full practice, not Saturday.
Well, they're out
today would be.
They're out of pads, so they'll have shells on today.
So
probably.
no more pads.
No more pads.
No,
pads
they put the pads up a long time ago.
Yeah, no. That's why we're out of the playoffs.
Pads are in
That's why we have no winning record because they put the pads
everybody's
up
pads
a long
are
time
up.
ago.
The whole league's pads are up until the playoff teams.
But it does look. It is a beautiful day out there.
No, it is.
Okay, and it's going to be a beautiful day on Sunday too.
The roof going to be open?
Well, I don't know about outside. It's a beautiful day because it's a day
bad.
for football.
I think it's going to be
thought
It's going to get cold on
weather.
Sunday, but I don't know how early on Sunday.
Probably
Well, so we
rain.
play at like what?
Noon.
10,
Play
10
at
a.m.
noon.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
To noon kickoff on Sunday. Final game of the
Play Saturday
2024
night.
season.
Play Saturday night.
This is it.
This is it. And everybody's contract is up. 3 o'clock on Sunday.
Well, if you just need to know,
Uh-oh.
I had my list.
I actually looked last night.
Y'all laughing. It's not like we got secure jobs.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, including us in
We
it.
said everybody.
I thought you meant those guys.
So this is the list right here
Of unrestricted free
Everybody's,
agents?
Unrestricted.
Did I have the
exclusive
coaches on there
rights.
too?
Our names
Mick Shots
are
on
not on here.
How many did you count? If you without counting the injured reserve guys, okay, the guys that are going to play in the game on Sunday, how many don't have a contract for the 2025 season?
So roughly, I'm counting everybody. 20 guys will be unrestricted.
I counted last night, and I came up with 22.
22. Oh no, 22. I forgot the special teams dudes down at the bottom.
Yeah, the Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
No.
One of them. No, none of them.
None of them. It's Brian Anger and the long snapper.
They
Trent
signed.
Sig.
They must have signed. Well, they signed Brendan Aubrey to a 3-year deal. So then he would
This
be
second year in the league.
he would be
Even if he were an
restricted.
exclusive rights free agent, whatever.
Yeah, they would still.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere.
Right.
So yeah,
And that's where Cavante falls into that category.
he's restricted. He's
God.
he's
There's more money.
Turpin is
Speaking of
restricted.
since you led us right there, the Cowboys have 5 Pro Bowlers selected and
Yes.
announced this morning. 2 of them special teamers, and Everson, you can guess who those 2 are, Brandon Aubrey and Cavante Turpin. If you were to guess one defensive player, who would it be?
Micah
Parsons. If you were to guess 2 offensive players,
CeeDee
Lamb and...
Come on, because I went 5 for 5 before I looked.
Got nobody.
offensive line.
Tyler
Still
Smith.
got nobody.
Tyler
Tyler Smith.
I wasn't impressed with any of them.
Tyler Smith for the second time in 3 years in the league. CD for the 4th time. Micah for the 4th time. And second time in 2 years for Brandon Aubrey. Second time in 3 years for Cavante Turpin.
That's got to be very satisfying. And they got to be feeling really good about that because after this season,
on a 7-9 team, especially.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that to have many Pro Bowlers. For us to have 5,
And for Parsons to miss 5 games,
Man,
wasn't
he
it?
still made it.
4
He got
games.
he got his 10 sacks, right?
Now he's 9.5.
He needs a half.
1.5 to go.
So you know he's playing. I'm not sitting out the last game.
So if he gets a half a sack, he will become the 4th player
Yes.
in National Football League history, since sacks were a stat, to have 10 or more sacks in his first 4 seasons in the league. Can you name the other 3 players who, in their first 4 years in the league, had at least 10 sacks in each of the first 4 seasons?
I know they're all Hall of Famers. That I do. And I can't tell
I
you.
thought
now.
we did
We'll
this
go
the
with
other day.
we'll go with Reggie White.
Reggie.
We'll go with Derek Thomas,
I said Derek.
and we'll go with Dwight Freeney.
Freeney. Wow. Boy, that
There you
dude's a
go.
stud.
Micah would join that elite group.
Pretty good group, huh?
Okay, so we're worried about, and I know we'll get to that later, Saquon Barkley. They decided not to play him. So why don't we think the same thing about Michael Parsons?
Because he needs a half a sack.
He's a half a sack.
Because he says, I need a half a sack.
But you saw how they finished the game.
Yeah,
They were riding his ass the whole time so he can get his 2,000 yards.
right.
And I was sitting there going, okay, go ahead, keep rubbing it in. And what if he gets hurt?
So what if Micah gets hurt?
Well, he doesn't. He's got
He doesn't
6
ha- he
months to
doesn't-
rehab.
He doesn't have a game until September.
He doesn't have to play.
Interesting.
The other guys have to
This
play.
this will come up in my mind again.
You know what? Who's got more writing on it? Does Micah have more writing on it, or do the Cowboys for next season have more writing on it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. If it's good for Micah,
if it's good for
the
Micah,
Cowboys.
that's right.
Yeah.
If Micah wants to do it,
Yeah,
then
then we're good.
Yeah, because
Well-
he's got however many hundreds of thousands of dollars writing on it.
Well, it's like the guys.
Only?
Yeah, well, I mean, how many?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like 100,
Right.
100,000.
There we go. There we go.
Well, for sure, 21 to 25 million, because that's what the base will be for his 5th-year option. If they don't sign him
That's
to
a lot
an
of
extension.
And then you can double that for.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of 100,000.
So it was like the guys just asked me on the fan doing the segment here, who do you want to see that you haven't seen? And I go, well, we've seen everybody. The only one we haven't seen is Trey Lance. And I just think from a logic standpoint, he's got to be the guy that starts, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, and it's no punishment. No punishment on Cooper Rush at all. You know, even though his game was surprisingly lackluster.
Except for the incentive that he can gain.
Well, yeah, he got that. but
contract incentive.
we didn't get anything for it. And so, just he got his. He got his last week. Well, he wants to get his. And, but Trey still is the man that needs to get in there. And it's not, once again, it's not just because we lost the game and he didn't play well. This is the last game of the season.
Right.
You know, we got nothing to play for. I mean, with no winning record, no playoffs, it's the last game. How many people do you think are going to show up at the game? That's what I'm wondering.
Well, if you already bought the tickets, I think you would go.
That is not true.
You would not?
That
you
doesn't
would.
happen for every.
Do you have a friend who hasn't ever? Do you have a
You would
friend who
sell 'em
hasn't
to
ever been to
somebody.
They
a
would
game?
give them to the pool man. That's what they would do. They wouldn't sell them to anybody.
Well, the pool man would go.
It's a running
Yeah.
joke. Is a running joke in my family, my daughters, and my wife, that they've never been to a game. Here I did. I've been working for the Cowboys for 20 years, and even preseason, they've never been to a game.
So this is the game.
No,
Why you not-
it is. It is if somebody gives them a ticket. Actually, my
You know what?
my oldest
I'm gonna
daughter
see if
has
I
been
can
to
find
games.
some tickets for your wife and
Yeah,
your daughter.
my oldest daughter has been to games because
Mm.
she's got someone in her family who works for the organization who has a lot of power in the organization.
okay.
More than you?
Damn, I didn't know you had.
So you think this is
Connections.
1989, the joke in 89?
Yeah.
Where they put 4 tickets on the windshield of the
And they
car,
come back with
and,
6.
And there was more there when they came back.
They come back and there's 6 tickets.
No one
yes.
took them.
That was the old,
growing
the old
up,
Saints joke.
did you go to games growing up?
I went to one game.
Okay.
1972, Cowboys played the 49ers. And number 22 for the 49ers. He was a return man. He returned one of the kickoffs for a touchdown, but we still kicked their butts. I think
Did you go?
Game.
I would get a call on Sunday morning saying, "Hey, we got an extra ticket. You want to go?" And that's how I would go. We never paid for tickets to go to.
I went with my.
Actually, we did. I do remember going with my dad. That's that Monday night game where in 1970 that the Cowboys lost 38-0 to the Cardinals, and in the fourth quarter that was. First time that Dandy Don Meredith was in the Monday Night Football booth, and in the fourth quarter, the fans started chanting, "We want Dandy,
right.
We want Dandy." I was at that game.
Mine was 72. That's the first year of the stadium, right? Texas.
Yes.
The last half of the 71 season, but the first full year was 72.
So I'm pretty sure that was a playoff game, and my mom's brother-in-law, my uncle, took us with my cousin Ray. And man, we had a good time. We were way up there. We were way up there. I think we were like 2 rows from the top.
Yeah, but way up there was a little different than way up here.
Oh, there's no doubt. But at that time,
it was hot.
Way up there is way up there, right?
But that TV
Those
monitor,
are really good seats now.
and that TV screen that Tex Schramm had put in, where it was just like a little.
It was like your 19-inch.
It wasn't even. It was like the. I don't even know how you describe it.
Why would he put it in so small?
Remember it?
Because
But
it was
wasn't
1971.
it wasn't even a screen. It was like just lights, and you had just figures on there. Right. It was just like it wasn't even a video, but it was touted as video. So now you can sit up in the nosebleed seats, and you can watch it just like at home on a bigger TV than you can ever imagine.
I think as a kid, I knew that life had something better in mind. Because even I knew that was lame. You know, we knew that was lame then. Like, what are we doing here? I know somebody in the future, please.
And then
come
the
up with
sun would
something
shine
better.
on it. And then the sun would come in and shine on it, and you couldn't even see the lights on it.
Hey. Growing up, I went to 2 games at Wrigley Field for the Bears, and there was no video board, right? They were still manually putting the numbers in the scoreboard, right? It was not electric.
Well, that was good, though. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, but
I mean, that's good
that was
baseball
special.
stuff.
Well, that's what they did.
That's what that was
ballpark in
But
Arlington.
that was for football, too.
Hey, in 1994, when they built the ballpark in Arlington, they on the scoreboard you could see all the out-of-town scores, but they had the out-of-town scoreboard because that was a throwback. That's the way baseball's supposed to be.
I told you.
There was no runoff at the back of the end zone at Wrigley Field. The wall was there.
And here in this thing, these are historic monuments to me. Where you're talking about where the White Sox used to play, with Cotton Bowl and all of that. And when you start thinking about all the I don't know what do you call it, the methods, the modern methods that we were looking forward to as kids, I knew something had to be better. As a kid, I knew that we had to do better than this, America. I know it. As a kid, I knew better. As I got older, like, man, thank God they're doing this as opposed to what they used to do.
So
thank God for that.
Do you think that where I sat at Wrigley Field for those 2 games, they were the box seat area for baseball? So like right behind first base line. The seats, they were like the folding chairs at the Catholic Warvitz.
I mean, come on.
They were not attached chairs.
We're talking about a professional
They
organization.
were folding chairs.
Jeez, dude.
And everybody was standing on them because there was no nets when they kicked an extra point or a field goal. So the ball was yours if you can get it on these rickety chairs.
This is a professional team. Players are being paid, and you got folding chairs.
This is almost before you were born. Okay,
golly, man.
So remember that.
I just knew when
folding
I was a kid,
chairs.
We're better than this, America. I knew it, and thank God we're there. Man, thank God for technology and futuristic thought. Jeez.
Did you think anybody got slighted on the Pro Bowl team?
It hasn't occurred.
Cowboys?
It hasn't occurred to me.
Those were the only 5 I could come up with.
Patrick Mahomes.
No, Cowboys.
Okay.
Cowboys
Okay.
played.
Yeah.
Now, but
But the
to that
NFL
point on Patrick Mahomes.
Well, but I gave them credit for putting Burrow in there instead of Mahomes.
Yeah.
So you had the three quarterbacks in the AFC that made it were Josh
Jackson,
Allen, Lamar
Josh
Jackson.
Allen, and Burrow.
On a team
So
with
you
a
got to put
losing
Mahomes
record.
ahead of them.
Mahomes didn't make it.
Nope. But if you're picking, who do you
I'm
take
picking-
out to
if
put
I'm-
Mahomes in?
I don't know, but you know Mahomes is going in. I don't care what they say.
I don't care what
What
his
is their
stats
sorry,
are.
bro.
What is their record, by
Yeah.
the way?
I'm sorry, bro.
I don't care
You
what
can
the
have
stats
it.
are.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't think Mahomes has played in a Pro Bowl in like, what, about 5 years, 6 years? He's always in the Super Bowl.
Right. Thank you. Very good.
They still have the Pro Bowl? I don't even know.
Yeah, they still have.
They played flag football, didn't they?
I don't know. It's so
They
sad.
have a game show this year.
Well, that's why Mahomes should be in it
Right?
because
Oh,
he'll
come on, man.
because he'll be in the Super Bowl, and so you'll add someone.
Well, no, not only that. He's a Pro Bowl type player. That's how he plays.
That's right.
You know, he's got the flicks
you
here,
think- in
the
fact-
sidearms, behind the back?
In fact, you're looking at the MVP discussion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would the Chiefs' record be if Patrick Mahomes? I don't care what his stats are.
That's it.
What would their record be this season if they didn't have Patrick Mahomes and Carson Wentz was their starting quarterback? Nothing against Carson Wentz. I mean, you put basically any backup quarterback in there.
Right.
That's why this MVP is somewhat backwards because it's the MVP of stats instead of the MVP of a team or league. Where do you think Philadelphia would be without Saquon Barkley? Same thing, right?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
So how about
why is Lamar Jackson
and-
more important than Derrick Henry?
How about Jared Goff?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
To the point that they signed Teddy Bridgewater from
sorry,
high
yeah.
school.
What is going on with this? Why doesn't anyone like Jared Goff? Why are they not touting him
Yep.
as if he's Josh Allen or as if he's Mahomes or whatever, Lamar Jackson? What is going on? Somebody tell me why. There are certain people out there. There are certain great players. There are certain players who have great seasons
Right.
that for some reason is easily ignored by the masses.
Because you get pigeonholed into what you once were.
And that is not cool.
Right?
That is not cool.
Can I
he
give
is
you-
not the same player that he was back in
I'll
in
give
LA.
you an example of this, even in our business.
Yeah.
So when I was working in Jackson, Mississippi, they had a guy that was the high school writer.
Yeah.
Right? And he was really good at it. But his nickname was High School. Right? And he never moved up to another position to
He
do
was perceived as the high school
college
guy.
because he was the high school guy.
Once they gave him
and
that-
once they got that on him, he was buried, right? And so I think it happens with people. Once you get pigeonholed into you are
Which is
this,
not cool
doesn't
at
matter
all,
what you
bro.
do, you can't get out of it.
So is the coach considered for Coach of the Year? Campbell.
Oh, I
You
would
think he's
imagine
considered
so.
for Coach of the Year?
I would imagine
So you could. So come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. If you consider Coach of the Year, your quarterback, I mean, his percentage is through the roof. Has he broken the records in regards to that yet? Is there some type of a standard in regards to not just rating, but passing percentage? I mean, every time I look up, this guy's maybe missed 6 passes in a game. His worst game, I believe, that he had when they lost, I think it was 2
He's
weeks
completing. You're talking about his completion percentage.
Yes, sir.
He's at 71.7% this year,
Mm-hmm.
which apparently doesn't lead the league. Let me see.
Well, let me tell you, 71.7, Mayfield 71.7, so that they're tied, and Tua is 72.9% completions. Mm-hmm. So
That's the one.
they're tied for second.
And where are they now? I mean, what are they doing? Nothing.
Well, they got to win, and does
Well,
somebody have to
Mayfield
lose?
wins. He wins the division. But to
I
your
don't think
point,
Tua was playing.
yeah, he's doubtful. But they actually have a chance of making the playoffs.
That's fine.
But he didn't even play. He didn't play last week.
Yeah.
Tyler Huntley
So
did.
to
I
answer,
don't remember Jared Goff missing a play. unless
so
they-
he has the second highest quarterback rating at 113.6.
behind Josh.
Lamar Jackson,
Behind Lamar.
121.6. And the reason he is where he's at is amazing because he has 10 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
So the 10 interceptions did in his quarterback rating. And that was the one game, right? Was that the game they won when he threw am I confusing it with
Did he
somebody else?
lose when he
No,
threw?
I thought they won a game when he threw 5 interceptions.
You're talking about Goff?
Yeah. Or was that Washington? What? Somebody
That was,
threw.
that was,
it
that
up.
was Daniels. That was Daniels. Is it Daniels?
Daniels did. He last week, the week before last.
Yeah,
Daniels
that was
threw
Daniels.
5
That
picks
was not. That was not
against Philadelphia.
Which kind of hurt his quarterback
bet it
rating.
did.
He did have a 5 interception game at Houston. Goff
That's
did.
it. And they won, right?
Yes.
So,
26-23
So
win.
half of his interceptions were in
one
one
game.
game.
I mean, the guy. I'm sorry, guys. I never was a Goff fan at all, but I love giving credit where credit is due, even if I'm not crazy about it. Because I mean, it's about fairness, man. You know, it's not just his numbers. You know, it's the numbers that the team has as well.
36 touchdown passes.
You know what? There's a college guy that fits that same profile that you're talking about, and he played yesterday. And I don't know what he's going to wind up, even if he'll make it in the NFL or not. But it's the same sort of narrative going on about Quinn Ewers at Texas.
Right.
And how about yesterday?
Right.
Did you see the end of that game?
I did.
How about yesterday when Texas is facing in overtime, 4th and 13, they're down, and the narrative on his entire collegiate career basically comes down to one play right there.
And he throws a touchdown
And he throws
pass.
a touchdown pass.
Down the sideline.
That was the one in the back of the end zone.
Back of the end zone.
And then the next play, which was the second overtime, was a touchdown pass to the tight end.
Yeah.
Who fell down and grabbed his knee like it was coming off the previous catch he made. And then he catches a touchdown pass.
And that's so funny.
I'll tell you
My
what.
brother went to UT, and God, he's such a. We got to get him UT underwear. We get him everything for everything's UT.
Just buy it orange.
Your cousin did too.
Well, yeah, of course he did. But
Herky.
I think Greg is more of a Texas fan than Herky. This is how much of a fan he is. I mean, he's over. But everyone's waiting on Manning.
Yeah, right.
He's waiting on Manning.
Right,
My
right.
brother Greg is waiting on Manning.
And see,
no matter
that's what goes
Ewers is
into the
doing
whole.
out there. And I'm telling him, dude, Ewers is balling. Manning.
No,
oh, he did do
they
this.
cannot
he did do
see.
that.
They
won't
cannot
see it.
see the passes that he
They
makes.
will not. He
And I'm not saying he
refuses.
doesn't have his flaws, whatever.
And
but
obviously he
the
does
good
because
plays,
everyone looks at
yeah,
those.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And they will not look at
They
the
will not.
great passes.
My
that he
brother
makes.
and I have had at least 3 arguments since Thanksgiving about Ewers. And I'm not necessarily a Ewers fan. All I'm saying is, dude, y'all are in the playoffs. Look where you are now. You're in the semifinals. What are you fussing about? You still want Manning?
And if with what Coach Sark has done in his career, if he thought that Arch Manning is going to give him an opportunity, and he's
would
worked
have
him into
had
some.
him in there.
Yes, right.
He would have had him in there.
Right.
And when Ewers came back this year, it pissed off the whole Manning clan.
So that game was so good. I watched the last quarter over again last night, starting at 11:30 at night.
Yeah.
I said, because I was piecing it together here while I was working.
There was a lot going
right?
on. There was a lot going on in
And
that
so
game.
I said, I got to watch it all over again.
I don't understand why they didn't replay it last night on ESPN. They should.
Well, it was on ESPN.
Well, when the Georgia Notre Dame game got postponed, I
on
thought that
ESPN.
they should have just replayed that
It was
game.
on ESPNU or ESPN, one of the other deals, and I watched it. I finished watching that game, and I decided. So when I do my Mick Shots column, I finish it with somebody gets the last word, and I said, "Okay, last word's mine. I want Cam Scatterboo on my team, and I want Matthew Golden on my team."
Yeah, man.
Right?
Oh, my God, dude.
That was unbelievable.
That guy's a stud. He's amazing.
He said he drank too much water. That's why
That's why he was throwing
puking
up.
on the sideline.
Well, I was talking about, is it Golden or Bolden?
Golden. Or there's a golden
yeah,
and a
I was
Bol-
talking
yeah.
about him. God, that guy there. And where did he come
Again,
from?
you're not
Where did he
getting-
come from?
He was
wasn't
in
there last
Houston,
year.
U of
Houston.
H.
Man,
Yeah.
thank you, Houston.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
You know why they get those wide receivers at Texas?
Because they pay them.
Well, besides
Manning is
the amount
coming
of
up.
money they pay,
Manning is coming up.
Manning wasn't a quarterback. Ewers was a quarterback. That's why they were transferred
Right,
there.
right.
All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in
like
just
that.
a moment.
Do we have to take a break?
I like that.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Dallas Cowboys honor the legacy of Bob Lilly through the Bob Lilly Award presentation by Ryan, awarded to the current Cowboy who demonstrates the highest level of achievement, sportsmanship, dedication, and leadership. Cast your vote now and help choose the player who best embodies the qualities that made Bob Lilly one of the greatest Dallas Cowboys of all time. Visit dallascowboys.com/Bob Lilly and cast your vote today.
All right, Mickey, we had a Mike McCarthy press conference within the last hour. Anything of note
Well,
you would like to present?
What would be one thing you wanted to know out of that press conference if you were there?
Who's starting the quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last question.
Really?
That's right. David Moore.
The last question.
Wow.
And the answer was?
I don't know.
Well, he answered it first about a question. They've all improved, and they've definitely Trey has improved, and I like to have Will Grier back. And then he was finally asked, because I think the way you needed to ask it was, you probably know who's starting. Are you prepared to tell us, right? So he got asked, and he goes, I don't want to talk about it yet. There's competition between the football operations.
You know what my first question was to him today on taping the Mike McCarthy show that airs on Saturday. It airs on Saturday night.
Thank you. Let him talk. Let him pull
my first question to him was, "What's happening at quarterback this week?"
That's it. That's all.
And he answered it the same way.
Same way.
Yeah.
And I just went out to see how they're practicing.
Oh, yeah,
well, they just dismissed the media, and they're still playing grab ass.
Right. That's all they're doing. I saw
they're throwing to the wide receivers. And by the way, at this point, when they walked off, throwing to the wide receivers were Trey Lance and Will Grier.
Mm-hmm.
So
I gotta say, those.
Wait, say it again.
They were thrown to the wide receivers.
Okay.
Only those two.
And those two were thrown. I saw.
Where was Cooper?
Cooper standing on the side. Now, I don't know if he got his throws in before I went out and looked.
You're surprised?
Well, he didn't say anything about Cooper.
Yeah, you're surprised.
But he mentioned Will Grier.
Yeah. Will Grier. I like that.
You know what's interesting?
Don't you think?
You know what's interesting about it? Remember when Will Grier was here before? And it was the last preseason game last year, and Will Grier played that game and played a lot that game. May have played the entire game. I can't remember. And remember, did he play well that game?
No, he did not.
I
think he played better than.
Nope.
Okay.
He did not.
I couldn't remember.
I remember.
I called the game and I don't remember.
Because I remember. I'm thinking this guy really looks good in his.
That's
uniform.
right. But then he would make some throws that were ill-advised.
He was just like what's the backup we have now? He was just like
Trey.
He was just like Trey.
Or Cooper? Which one?
No, he was just like Trey.
He didn't throw 5 picks.
So,
not 5, but he stunk up the place.
Okay, so
but they both
anyway,
look
my point
so
is
good when they look good. That's what gets you.
But he went into that game knowing that he was doing it for other teams because the Cowboys had already made the trade with San Francisco for Trey Lance. So he knew Trey Lance was taking his place. So now here we are, fast forward basically 2 seasons, the last game of the next season, and we could have a game where Trey Lance and Will Grier play quarterback.
Yeah. Don't you think that's what would
no
happen?
Cooper Rush?
That's what I think.
What would you do?
That's why I think no Cooper. That's why I'm not surprised about Cooper being on the sidelines.
Would you start Trey Lance?
I would.
You?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't know.
I mean, the only reason you wouldn't at this point would be you don't want him to go out there and play really well, and then he's a free agent, and somebody starts giving him some money that maybe you want him back
if
as
he starts
a backup
playing too well,
candidate.
then we put Will Grier in
put
the
Will
second
Grier
half.
in. And I would have Will Grier be the backup.
I would.
And so Cooper is the 3rd quarterback?
God, I hope they don't need him. I wouldn't even want to suit him out. Actually.
Well, where I would not want, if I was Cooper Rush and I was not going to be playing the whole game, I would not want to start the game because I don't want it on my record
that you get a loss.
I wouldn't even want to play.
Because the starting quarterback gets credit or discredit. Yeah. It goes on his 1-loss record.
I would not even want to dress out if I was Cooper Rush. You got 2 quarterbacks.
You can be the inactive third.
You got 2 quarterbacks. We're good. And if you lose 2 quarterbacks in this last game, who gives a crap? It's the last game.
Well, you're probably not.
Well, here's the other thing you had to look at is who's going to be the backup quarterback next year.
That's what this game might determine. This game,
or the last 8 games might have determined with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush got 8 starts.
So
you've seen him. He's gotten plenty of reps to prepare him if he's going to be the backup next year. And now you're at a point, you're already in 2025. So if he's going to be your backup quarterback, you don't want an ACL injury or anything like that in the last game.
I don't know
right?
if he would be our backup quarterback.
I don't know
next year.
Well, it depends.
Keep your powder dry.
It depends again on free agency.
Yeah.
If his agent thinks he can find him a job to compete for a starting job somewhere.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Well, you never know.
There's a lot of teams.
There's at least 8 teams that need quarterbacks.
It would have to be because of injury or something like that. And nothing on Cooper's abilities. I just don't think he's good enough to be a starter. I think he's a heck of a backup.
But he'd be perfect, and especially if the coaching staff remains the same here, it'd be perfect.
I think he's a heck of a backup. I just don't see him as a starter, and that's not actually considering the lack of footwork that he has and lack of athletic ability. He does a lot with a little.
I just think they did a solid to Zeke. They let him go. Right? So he could maybe latch on with a playoff team. I think Trey's been a good soldier the whole year.
Yes, he has.
So maybe do him a solid and say, okay, we give you this start.
I think that should happen.
You've earned it.
Yeah, I think that should happen.
Now, then again, you go back and they have to think, do they think he's ready to do it? We got to take a break, right?
Again.
Because...
Did we take...
I don't know if I said this yesterday or not, but I saw some other quarterbacks get the last game of the season. One of them turned out well, and the other 2 not so well.
Recently?
In my history of covering the Cowboys.
I've got one for you.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll talk about that when we come back here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Golf by Tyler, the Creator, in cooperation with the Dallas Cowboys, is now available at select pro shops and online. Score unique apparel and accessories at a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience. Tyler, the Creator. That's a music guy, right?
Did you say golf or golf?
Golf.
You're stuck on Jared Goff.
I thought it said golf. I thought he had a line of apparel.
Daniil Hunter didn't make the Pro Bowl?
I don't think I saw his name on
The
there.
Houston Texans edge rusher. They were looking at biggest Pro Bowl snubs. And if you look at Mickey's favorite entity, Pro Football Focus, if you look at defensive players' win percentage on sack rate and win percentage, Micah Parsons is number 2 in the league this year, behind Daniil Hunter.
Oh, well, they're never wrong.
And
that's right.
They're at defensive ends. So the defensive ends that made it were Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and Trey Hendrickson.
He didn't have enough sacks.
See, and that's the other thing.
Doesn't matter how many pressures you have.
What about TJ Watts?
He didn't make it either.
He didn't make it.
Wow.
No, he made it as an outside linebacker.
Okay.
Nick Benito.
Yep, Oklahoma Sooner, Nick Benito of the Denver Broncos.
And Khalil Mack of the Chargers. So basically, they're outside pass rushers, not linebackers.
That's right. They did just have the category edge rusher.
Yeah.
All right, Mickey, you were going to talk about
quarterbacks that got a chance.
I'll give you one. They
Go
got
ahead.
a chance in the last game of the season, his rookie year, and they turned out pretty well. Patrick Mahomes.
Last game of the season.
Last game of the season, his rookie year. He didn't play his entire rookie year and got to start in his last game of his rookie year, and because it was a meaningless game. Kansas City had already clinched, whatever.
But he was a first-round.
I'm just saying he turned out pretty well.
Okay.
All right, now.
So
Trey Lance was a first-round draft pick too.
That's
Mickey.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
he was a higher draft pick than
let's
Patrick
see if
Mahomes.
he gets the chance.
There you go.
So I think we talked about this the other day. Everson was here for this one. 1986. Reggie Collier, who was drafted in the 6th round, by the way, in 83 by the Cowboys. And then he played 3 years in the USFL, and then when it folded, the Cowboys inherited his rights.
Yep.
And he basically sat the whole 86 season, got to start the final game of the year against the Bears. He went 8 of 15, 96 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 3 sacks. And we never heard from Reggie Collier.
Hey, let me tell you something,
again.
guys. I'm sorry. This is just me talking. Tom Landry loved that situation. I think he loves showing the team, media, and anyone else who wants to try and usurp his authority, I'll show you.
Well, what this guy can't do.
I'll show you what he can't do.
Right.
And I think that's a damn shame. Tom he had such an ego. His pride was bruised very easily. When he wanted to show you, when he wanted to teach us a lesson, forget the records, he would sacrifice his own record and reputation just to show you guys that I'm running this show. And that was what that was all about. You finally start him. The 86 season was gone by before that last game.
It's kind of the situation here, though.
Well,
right?
And he could have played him much earlier.
Okay.
And he could have touted him much better.
Because after
he could have
Danny
given him a much better game plan, and he chose not to.
Because after Danny got hurt, Pelur did the rest of that season.
Tom Landry did the same thing with Gary Hogaboom. Once we start saying, well, we want Gary, we don't want Danny, Tom was like, okay, I'll give you what you want. I'm going to give you Gary Hogaboom, and I'm going to put Gary out there. It's like going into war, and you just throw some rabbit out in the middle of the field, and everybody starts trying to bomb him.
I remember
that's when he announced that he was going to start Posderick at quarterback.
Posderick, is that what he said?
At the beginning of the season, it was a big press conference. Everyone was wondering who's going to be the starting quarterback. Danny White.
Why did he say Posderick?
And because there was there's also an issue at tackle. Who was going to start at tackle?
Because
and so Posderick was on his mind.
He doesn't feel comfortable when he lies. That's why.
So
he said Posderick.
So he said that. So Posderick will start this week at quarterback. I mean Hoganblum.
Hoganblum.
Not to get off of what we were talking
and it's
about.
Hogaboom.
It was Hoganblum.
No Hogan.
Hoganblum.
He doesn't care.
Emerson. It was Hoganblum.
He don't care, Emerson.
Not to get off topic, but that was.
Boy, that
press conference. That press conference was the day I came here to interview for the job at the Times-Herald.
That was your first day?
That was my interview.
1984?
84, and they had to put it back 2 hours because they were printing the season preview edition, and Danny White was on the cover. And they couldn't find the guy covering the Cowboys, and so they had to wait because they had to rewrite the story in the front page. And I was supposed to, part of the job I was in for, was back up on the Cowboys, and I'm going, if I don't call this guy a son of a B, I might get the job. They really need somebody.
You're just waiting over there, huh?
Right. So anyway, the second time I saw it,
you're too.
Anthony Wright, the final game of the 2000 season, it was the 5-11 season. Troy was out, hurt, and Randall Cunningham said he had a hamstring strain. He just didn't want to play. So they're playing at Tennessee, and Tennessee is playing for
a 5-11 team. You want me to sacrifice?
Oh, yeah.
And Tennessee's playing for the first seed in the playoffs, and Anthony Wright goes 5 of 20 for 35 yards, 2 interceptions, 4 sacks, 3 fumbles in a 31-0 loss on Christmas night in
Tennessee
Nashville.
Christmas.
And then there was the 2015 season that the Cowboys again were going to finish. Did they finish 5-11 or 6-10 that year? Romo had he was done. Remember, he played the first 2 games, then he played the 2 games around Thanksgiving, got hurt again. He was done. They were Matt Castle.
Little did he know how done he was at that point.
Right, because that was the back that was really hurting him. So they start some guy named Kellen Moore, going to give him a shot, right? Kellen Moore, it was his second start. He started the last 2 games, but he got that start. Threw for 435 yards in that game, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in a 34-23 loss. It was the 6th most yards in a game for a Cowboys quarterback. The only other 400-plus at that time was, at this time, was Dak, Meredith, Romo, and Aikman. And so
good company.
he parlayed that into they were going, all right, so Romo's starting in 2016. Kellen Moore's the backup, and we're going to draft this guy in the 4th round, Dak
Mississippi
Prescott.
State.
And what happens? Kellen Moore breaks his leg. Dak hurts. Romo gets hurt the back in the preseason game, and Dak's the starter.
Man.
And Dak went into training camp that year 4th on the depth chart,
That's
behind Dak, behind Tony Romo, Kellen Moore, and Jamil Showers.
And there were people arguing that Jamil Showers should have been the starter after the first, because they were.
Where did he go?
Texas
to
A&M.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I remember him.
he was they tried to make him a.
And then they made him wide receiver.
Yeah,
he wasn't a quarterback.
Well, there were people arguing that he was playing better than Dak that
they
summer.
Were all Aggies.
That was how bad Dak was.
He was horrible.
So, by the way, we really, you guys were okay with what they did with Zeke, right?
I am.
Let him go.
Okay
that was kind of nice,
It
right?
really was. It really was.
You want to?
I mean, it helps you get rid of, a problem that you kind of didn't want, but at the same time, you're helping the guy out.
So, and he cleared waivers too, by the way.
Yeah,
that's good.
So now somebody can sign him to their practice squad. And
you think Detroit?
Well,
it could go through.
They at least have 2 running backs that they can lean on, and one's going to the Pro Bowl, right? Gibbs.
And we'll see what offers he has, if any. But if he has multiple offers, then he weighs on, how far are these teams going to go? Right. And now he may decide he wants to wait until after next week to sign. You know why?
Why?
He wants to watch the Buckeyes play Texas next Friday here. That would be just like Zeke. I'll sign with you, but can I wait until after next Friday? I want to watch my Buckeyes play.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Well, how about yesterday? What they keep showing people on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't watch the whole game. Did they ever show McConaughey again?
I didn't notice
in the game. I didn't notice, but Plummer, they showed him twice.
Yeah.
Cheering him, and he was watching the game on the sideline
right.
too. You can't see the game on the sideline. Why would you want to watch on the sideline?
You can see it, but you just don't. You don't get all the nuances that come with it. You don't see what happened right after the play. You see the play, but you don't see what happens, before that and after that. Those things are.
I remember when I was doing the sideline for the preseason games, and they got down to the goal line, and I'm standing right with the referee or the official on the goal line, right? And now they got to judge if the guy scored or not.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, BS, you can't tell. No. Don't even be putting your arms up in the air.
I was on the sidelines for a game. They looked like they were going so fast. I mean, like, how the hell did I do this? They looked like they were going so fast. I mean, Barry Sanders, like, whoa, this is crazy.
And it looked like it hurt, too, by the way.
All right.
Is that it?
That does it.
That's it.
How about we do it again tomorrow?
Are we working tomorrow?
I believe so.
Yes, you are.
We are working.
tomorrow. We are. I don't know your schedule.
And don't forget you're working Saturday, too, by the way.
Oh, I'm ready for Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not ready for tomorrow, though.
Saturday's fun. Yeah, this is.
All right. So we'll shout at you again tomorrow at high noon on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots. This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.